Hello. Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Top Tarot Minors. And today I'm going to talk about the Knight of Swords. And I do not have a lot of cards on the table. This is actually, I think, a bit of a disappointing tarot card in terms of the appreciation of this particular court. I mean, there are different characters we can choose from television and film and literature, and I may address some of them. I guess I can talk about Sheldon right now. Let's talk about Sheldon, Big Bang Theory, and maybe even a little bit about the journey of young Sheldon. So if you're not familiar with the Big Bang Theory, this is a story about some grad students who, I'm not sure what their level of professorship is. Some of them are teaching, some of them are not teaching, but Sheldon has been highly intelligent since he was a small child. And if you listen to yesterday's episode, definitely fits the description of a page of swords in terms of their intelligence. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. And just kind of generally quite challenging to be around for any length of time. And in the Young Sheldon miniseries or TV series, he at some point went to Germany for a summer. And he was immensely humbled by some other students who knew far more than he did. One of them was a girl even. And in other ways, as far as social skills, the ability to navigate trains and subways, he was truly, truly humbled. He realized at that point that he did need a parent and he did need guidance. And I think even later on in the first series was called Big Bang Theory. Sheldon certainly lacked social skills, and that was something he was never very good at. But the shift from Page of Swords to Knight of Swords is this focus. And I'm going to talk about different ways to interpret the Page of Swords. It's not always scientists and researchers and grad students, this sort of thing. But it does appear in this kind of obsessive, extremely focused kind of intelligence. And so if we use the metaphor of knight, in this case, they are on a quest to solve a theory, to solve or discover a formula or something. And there's been other movies. I'm just trying to, there's been so many wonderful movies about the relationship between an intelligent child and a parent, and one who gives something up for another. And yeah, so I think about these kinds of characters in literature or film. However, there is something that I want to address that seems to go amiss in the interpretation of this card. Most of the decks that I have on the table follow a Golden Dawn Rider-Waite-Smith or Thoth-inspired interpretation. And when we use that interpretation on the Tree of Life, the knights are placed in the central the central sephira of Tiferet. Fire plus water makes air. And the knights represent the element of air, and of course in Thoth-inspired decks they're called princes. and they live in this number 6 Sephira, this place of beauty and harmony, and are a product of the king and the queen, or the knight and the queen, depending on the deck that you have. And the piece that is a little tricky to understand is that the element of air as a connection with Tiferet and or the heart chakra is not how the irrational, reactionary, swift energy of the Knight of Swords is often interpreted. The Knight of Swords, often we see a knight on a horse moving so quickly. The element of air is always there. We often see birds, and the energy is unbelievably fast. This could represent the speed of light, the quickness of the mind. And as a physical trait or physical behavior, it could be something quite dangerous. A knight to be feared, quite literally, from any sort of Arthurian legend or something. So the piece here is that the Knight of Air is the Knight of the heart. And there's just something kind of powerful. I remember another commentary I did where I had just read a book or saw a video, and the observation was that, and this was when I was doing my Marseille research, was the direction of the Knight of Swords faces to the toward the suit of cups. The Knight of Swords is chasing back towards the suit of cups. And of course, the directions vary on various decks. But there was something about this to say that the Knight of Swords knows that the ultimate place to return to is the heart space. And so it's really interesting to compare and contrast the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups in terms of an understanding of love, peace, harmony, relationship, any of those things. Okay, so I just want to offer that. I think this is a hilarious card. This is from the Vindur Tarot, and the Knight of Swords moves so quickly that all we see in the card is the foot. And this really appeals to my sense of humor. I think it's very clever what the artist did there. This card is from the lovely Om Tarot by Darshani. And this one touches on that energy where, okay, so a few things. Air being the element that feels most closely connected to ether. And yet, what I was saying about the knights in the 6th Sephira, the 6th Sephira is on the central pillar in direct alignment with the High Priestess and the crown chakra or Keter. And so this knight is a central pillar energy and very, can we say, close to enlightenment, directly connected to the High Priestess path. And so I get this energy here. I understand there's this pure potential here if this knight can use the energy in its highest frequency. And I suppose, there's this other discussion about why is that not the tendency of this knight? Because they certainly have that as a possibility. If you look at the Sastra Ibito Tarot here, there's so many things you could pick up from this card. The idea of mirror, that at the number 6, we are at this place of reflection of divine masculine and feminine, right and left brains, right and left anythings. And there is a humility here, perhaps, a humility to an understanding of how important this union of left and right is. Yeah, sit with that one for a little bit. It's quite something. The one that's hidden under here is Keeper of the Sacred Bee by Kelly Burton. And the thing I like about this card is the electric energy in the background. Whether this bee moves at the speed of electricity, the speed of light, there's definitely a charge here. Energy is energy is energy. So how can I put this into words? The potential of intelligence, the energy of intelligence, the energy of voice and articulateness, the energy of the mind, and the frequency of the heart space are all connected here. We have this brilliant purple color too, which leads me to believe, Kelly Burton is schooled in Golden Dawn correspondences. And when I see a lot of purple on a card, I'm thinking of combination of blues and reds. And blue and red often represents divine masculine and feminine. And so here we have purple, which is a combination of that. So there's something about this card that definitely resonates. Hi, Aria. Welcome. I started late tonight as well, too. Yeah. Didn't start on the hour. And then I only have one other, so only 5 cards on the table tonight. This is Tarot of the She. And I've loved this card since I first studied this deck. Because it brings in the element of noise. And the way that I work with the tarot and the court cards and their correspondences to the numbered cards, I use the knights as mutable signs. And so this would be mutable air, which is Gemini. And Gemini is all those noisy cards, 8, 9, 10 of swords. And so this card just feels really significant here. I love the way that the ears are closed, and it reminds me of a yogic practice where the gates are closed, the eyes, the ears, and we listen to the frequency internally, often humming or chanting. It's a wonderful pre-meditation kind of practice. And so I just see lots of things here. I love the blues and the yellows, the perhaps the noise of the birds, and yet the knight chooses to close their ears, the radiance of the sun. And of course here the sun is the planet of Tiferet as well. So that's a brilliant connection here. So this is a really, it's air of air, if you're using Golden Dawn correspondences, so Knight of Air, and there is a connection to the sun as well. So it's a highly, highly charged court card. And I don't know what else to say about it, but the more you sit with the quartz and you take the pieces, the elemental pieces, the connections to their elemental dignity, which is air for knights. And if you sit and reflect on the fact that the knights are the product of the fire of the king and the water of the queen, and they come together to this perfect place in the center of the tree of life, or the center of the chakra system, it just gives you a more feeling for what these courts may be. And my other piece that is really important to reflect on in a reading is the quest quality that I find in these cards. And I want to ask the querent, what are you questing for? And with this particular knight, it may be a voice, a particular word, a clear thought. May also have a connection as well to like I was saying, some connection with heart and with the heart space itself. So yeah, Knight of Swords. And I did miss one really beautiful card last night. Oh my goodness. And I have to do a study of this deck. I will show you the king when we get there. Now, in the Euclidean cards, decks, there's quite a few of them. The element of swords is the suit of swords is connected to the element of water. And this is the page of swords, an incredibly powerful card. If you are interested in spending several videos with some of these cards, maybe even a 20-week series or something, I would love to do that. This is one of the most beautiful decks in my tarot library, and I have not spent near enough time with it. Yeah. Anyway, for tonight, Knight of Swords, and only 5 cards on the table. They are Tarot of the She, Sasarai Bito, Keeper of the Sacred Bee, Vindur, and Lovely Om. I'll be back soon with the Queen of Swords. Have a lovely rest of your day. Namaste.